we did meet that issue. We need you to take that on horse and pick yourself up. If you can't do it, then just have a conversation.
It looks like you lost another one.
As we start this new episode of the Wrestling Revival podcast, as you can see, one person is really enjoying themselves here, and the other one is just sitting here listening to the dumb shit.
Oh man!
I am your host. I am your host this evening, it's Mr. Cyb3rYeti, Mr. Here for the Petty, and Mr. Dumbass over there, Mr. I'm gonna be.
What's going on, y'all? This is DJ Notorious. I am one of the hosts of the Wrestling Revival podcast. Of course, with that guy to the left of the screen being Cyb3rYeti. Of course, we're going to be talking about a lot of things going on in the world of wrestling. AEW Dynamite just went off the air, so we're going to be talking about a lot of things that went on Dynamite. Plus, we're going to be talking about a new king that is in NXT. And then, of course, we might have a special guest to talk to Cyb3rYeti regarding some things, but we'll get to that in just a second. So,
like I said, this is the only episode. This is the only episode you're getting this shit. So you better be paying attention. You better be watching, because if not,
I'll just say this right now, y'all, just so we can get started and handle some particulars. Cyber's a little bit under the weather. Okay, he's a little bit under the weather. He has a little Ranger cold, so we'll talk about that later on.
This motherfucker, goddamn it!
This guy, y'all find out later.
No, it's called "This Guy Stands by His Goddamn Team," and that's exactly what I did. So you know what? Fine, you're gonna have your laugh. You're gonna have your poking session. That's fine. But after that, that's gonna be the end of it. Until next season.
Okay, sure, sir. But we'll get to that later on. Like I told you, he has a Ranger cold going on right now. He's going to have to work that out for the rest of the show. But definitely, let's talk about some things here, get some things out the way. You know we have merch. So, of course, you need to pick up the merch from the Wrestling Revival podcast. Of course, the original Wrestling Revival t-shirt. # Notorious Approved and living rent-free in your head. Of course, Cyb3rYeti. I think some people, maybe a 27-man roster, is living in your head right now. Just saying. You can pick up all 3 shirts and hoodies, because it is hoodie season, maybe out down south, but not here in the east. Bonfire.com / the Wrestling Revival. You can pick up all of your merch right now. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's really got him talking out there. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get to that part later on, Cyber. It's okay. Not now. Let's handle some business. But, of course, you can also get 10% off when you go to OTSubs.com and get yourself not only that colossal shaker, 64 ounces, man. That is a big one right there. And, of course, with all different flavors, keep you going when you're watching your sports or even listening to us here on the Wrestling Revival podcast. So when you go onto the site, make sure you type in the discount code, which is Revival Army, giving you 10% off on your purchase. Of course, that goes back right into the podcast here. We treat this like a business, and you helping us out helps out more with the podcast going further. So definitely go to OTSubs.com. Rival Army, 10% off your purchase. So, how you feeling tonight, sir?
I'm okay for the
You
most
sure?
part.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, had a
Oh.
rough couple nights. Had a rough couple nights, but you know how it is. Both in the sports world and both on the other side as well. Had a rough couple nights, but it's all right. We've got some stuff to talk about before we get into your favorite time of the episode. This episode, so this guy. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. First things first, if you have not been paying attention toward the end of last week, the big thing that came out of, actually, we're going to change this up. The big thing that kind of came out of the wrestling industry was Impact Wrestling is officially going back to TNA. We are going to be returning to the TNA brand, and that is actually going to be happening for their first pay-per-view, which is Against All Odds, right?
Yes, it is. Against All Odds, their first pay-per-view of the year, I believe January 13th, if I'm not mistaken.
That is right. So this means, since they're going back to their previous branding, this means we could be seeing new titles. We could be seeing old titles making their return.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I would love to see that old school TNA title that Sting and Kurt Angle were holding back in the day. That one was actually one of my favorite ones. Now, just as it says down on the bottom of your screen here, do you think this is a good move or a bad move on Anthem's part in regards to resurrecting the way of TNA? Now, we have heard a couple of their wrestlers flat out say it's a great idea, but please do not bring the six-sided ring back because we do not want to hurt ourselves.
Yes.
So in my eyes, I feel like bringing the old school look of TNA back, back when, they were legitimately competing against WWE at the time, because WWE was the only thing around besides them back then.
That's right.
And, they had the whole Hulk Hogan thing. They had the whole Sting thing, Kurt Angle, Main Event Mafia. And if you go further back than that, you're looking at Ron Killings. I think that's his real name.
Yes, Ron.
He was
Truth Killings.
yes, he had a TNA title run back then. Raven, Roddy Piper, all them, they went to this wrestling promotion back when it was not the biggest thing in the world, kind of like the first couple of years of AEW currently. You saw quite a few people pop up there, that were former wrestlers. So, I mean, in my eyes, I think it's a good idea going back to this look. Don't bring back the six-sided ring. Like Jordan Grace was one of the first ones that made a comment about it. We do not want to hurt ourselves. Do not bring that ring back. That would be a dumb choice. And I agree with her. Stick with the four-sided ring, but bring everything else back. Maybe they're starting to think about competing with AEW and WWE. Maybe this is a sign of the times that they're going to actually do that.
I think this is good and bad.
Okay.
I'm still on the fence with it. One thing I will agree with, the six-sided ring does not need to come back unless it is used the right way. And what I mean by that is that for a specialty pay-per-view, we do know TNA, when it comes to TNA, what are they best known for? The X
The
Division.
X Division.
Having those, X Division matches where the belt was suspended from the ring, those were some of the biggest highlights in not AEW, but Impact TNA history. We all remember those. Going from the likes of Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, and others. I feel for maybe one night only. Hey, I might have just gave them a pay-per-view right there saying one night only. You might want to do that. I understand, it's don't want to get hurt, but going back to TNA, you got to give the fans that just one time. You just have to. It's
I
not
mean,
something
yeah.
that's going to be there weekly, every pay-per-view. I don't think they should go that route, but you got to give it to them one time. Now, looking at how the roster feels about it, yeah, I like how it's moving. Everybody knows TNA. Like you said, for quite a bit of time, it was only WWE and TNA. That's all you had.
Mhm.
Or if you wanted to watch New Japan and stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning, you could do that. But TNA was big. A lot of people don't even remember this.
Mm-mm.
TNA actually was the only one to go up with WWE with a video game at that time.
Wasn't it TNA Impact?
It was called
Yep.
TNA Impact.
I
Also
remember.
on that PlayStation ecosystem and Xbox 360. Some people hate the game, but it was a really good game. And
Surprisingly,
it had
it
a
was.
lot of people talking. Kurt Angle, Sting, Samoa Joe, Suicide at that time, who was like the best thing since sliced bread when he was on there. TNA was that option. Now, going with AEW, yeah, they're the number 3. They got to see how they could work that out. It seems like AEW and Impact have had some trades of sorts going back and forth a few years, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's somebody else out there, gives options for another American-based wrestling company to be seen. I just hope Anthem with this gets on bigger cable networks. That will be the only thing I would ask for.
Okay, so then this brings up another question. Is this being reactive to what NWA recently did with signing their contract with the CW?
See, normally the Yankee and the Astro don't agree on a lot, but we agree on this. This was just a chess move of sorts. They put the pawn out there, they brought out the bishop. CW now has NWA. That's going to bring a lot more eyes to it because CW is seen in a lot of U.S. homes.
Yes.
That's why I felt Anthem needs to do something to get on a big network of sorts. Hell, even if it has to be streaming, we have Paramount Plus, there's Peacock out there. Obviously, we know they won't go there, but there's different avenues that they can
Hulu.
Hulu.
Exactly. Hulu doesn't have a wrestling promotion right now. And
exactly. We all know who's going to be going to a streaming service probably by 2024. So why not jump the gun and show, we're here to stay. This is what we're doing, and going to something like Hulu. I mean, Hulu even shows commercials. So, I mean, it fits right into their programming perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah, that would actually be a very reasonable thing to have happen. And like I was saying, and like you even agreed with me, this was a reactive move by Impact due to NWA. They were just way down there on the bottom, just kind of doing their own thing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Oh shit, they just signed with the CW. We need to get ahead of them now.
Exactly.
Bring back stuff that makes people remember what Impact used to be.
And I gotta say this now. I know you probably will agree with me on this. If you haven't seen the reveal trailer for them bringing back TNA, job well fucking done. Because that video was great.
You know what it reminded me of, that video? It reminded me of the Hardy compound match that they had. It was the Hardys versus... It wasn't the Bucks, because it was back when it was on Impact. I forgot. There was like a couple of teams in it. Mm-hmm. They wound up ultimately winning, but I mean, it had that feel to it, that video.
Yeah, it made you think of the compound when you saw the video. We're having everyone there, Josh Alexander and others, and Eric Young was also in the video. They did have a little of Trinity in there as well.
Yes, they did.
Onto that. So I give them credit. That was one of the best videos I've seen from any of the big 3 here in the United States all year long. So give them credit. They're working their way back into it.
Yeah.
Let's just hope they don't switch up within 6 months and go right back to Impact.
I hope not. That would be stupid. Now, looking at some of the video packages that have been done, let's say over the past 12 years, you know what the funny thing is? Is it almost seems like they were taking the formula from the Hardys from when they did their very first, cinematic match.
Yes, it gave
It
off
went,
that cinematic feel.
yeah, it went from there.
Mhm.
Then they went to multiple things, especially when they were on their expedition for gold. They were going to all these promotions, including down to Mexico,
Yep.
and competing for their tag team titles. It went from the original compound fight to that.
Mhm.
Then it went to the other one that pops in my mind immediately after that is the AJ Styles versus Undertaker match.
Yes, it did.
And then it goes from there. Actually, before that, it was Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt on WWE when they were trying to recreate the original compound match from Impact. Then it was the Undertaker AJ, and then now their relaunch of TNA. To be honest, without the Hardys having their original match, we wouldn't be seeing this kind of stuff.
No, you actually
And
couldn't.
and technically, if they wanted to, God, I hope this never happens. If they wanted the Undertaker to continue fighting, they could do these types of matches for him, pre-record them, and just throw them up on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, no.
So no,
No.
thank God Vince ain't in charge
Yeah,
when it
because he
comes
would
to
have had
that
him ready
anymore.
for WrestleMania 40, so we don't.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. So let's go ahead and move it right along here. We are jumping to AEW Dynamite, and like we mentioned, that just recently went off the air. So why don't you watched more of it than what I got to? I caught the tail end, so I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and start off on it.
Well, with Dynamite tonight, of course, coming from Philly. Yeah, that's right. Home of James. Well, not James Harden now because he's out, but home of the infamous ECW. That's where AEW Dynamite was at tonight. And the crowd definitely let you know at numerous times during the night, you're not in Kansas anymore. You are in Philadelphia, PA.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, the match, show started off, not the regular intro. It started with MJF in the back, getting interviewed by Renee Paquette. Still didn't take a vacation, but that's another story for another day. And letting him have it with Roderick Strong. Like that thing starting to go playing into it again. And then next thing you know, we had the first match of the night, MJF versus Juice Robinson for that illustrious Dynamite Diamond Ring. Now, of course, for the 5th straight time, MJF won the match. Of course, there was interference on both sides, actually. That Burberry scarf was used in this match, among other things. But MJF did get the victory. But that's not really the big part of that match. After the match, of course, the gang beatdown from Bullet Club actually brought out not only Roderick Strong and his two jabronis, as you can say, but also brought out the Acclaim. That's right. This Max Caster still trying to get his scumbag MJF. So what happened with that is that now we are set up for next week. Next week on Dynamite, we will have MJF and 3 people of his choosing. And next thing you know, we will have that versus the Bullet Club next week on Dynamite. But if you actually thought that was it, if you really thought that was it for that part of the show, no, it was not. Because right when MJF is walking up the ramp, Kenny Omega's video and music hit. So we had that going on. And then next thing, we have a challenge for this Saturday at Collision for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It is MJF versus Kenny Omega.
Now, I will say this. I was a little surprised because I did catch that segment. I really thought that MJF was going to kind of revert back to what he was how he previously was after Kenny Omega laid down the challenge, pretty much tell him, hey, go fuck yourself and take off, but he proved me wrong this time again, showing that, he's the crowd's scumbag.
Literally, he played that part perfectly. That's going to be a great match. Everybody should be watching that. That's probably going to be the main event of the night. Will be a good one. And it's going to be at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, so not too far away from Notorious. Maybe I might just show up to Collision.
Really?
And
You're really thinking about going?
I'm really thinking about going. Hey, there's not a lot of times you can say MJF and Kenny Omega in the ring together. So
that is true. So I mean, lucky motherfucker.
That'll be 2 weeks in a row, right? 2 weeks in a row. If you didn't see the last episode, definitely go back to episode 9, and you will see the reason why I'm lucky now. 2 weeks in a row. But MJF, that's going to be good. But once again, he's now getting more people coming against him. Samoa Joe wants a rematch. Wardlow wants a match. Very good promo by Wardlow on the show tonight. So MJF can't turn any way because he has somebody coming after him for that AEW World Championship. So good segment so far to start off the show.
That line is getting long behind MJF right now.
It definitely is, where you got to think, if he does get away with beating Omega Saturday and he beats, Jay White and gets back his Triple B, would MJF actually have the belt January 1st, 2024? It's hard not to pick the field. It's hard.
I know. It's really hard. But the thing is, too, is I think Tony Khan is going to play this smart. I don't think he's going to let MJF just try to run a gauntlet through all of them. He's going to say, okay, we're going to do a number 1 contenders match with this pool of people. Whoever wins this gets the next shot at, let's see, what's coming up after, what's the next pay-per-view?
Speaking of which, there seems to be a pay-per-view that might happen at the end of the year, the last Saturday of the year, I believe it's the 30th, called World's End. The reason why I say World's End, because AEW actually trademarked the phrase World's End earlier today, which everybody can assume World's End, we know they do New Year's Eve and New Year's Smash, that might just be the pay-per-view to end the year. So, of course, stay in tune to us and follow us on social media because you will know exactly when that becomes official.
Yes. But it looks like it's rolling towards that. It's going to become official. I'm waiting for Tony Khan to blurt it out already.
He definitely will probably soon.
Or I have a huge announcement.
Really?
Emergency meeting.
Wow. Whoa. Don't do that now. That's 2 different things now. Don't do that. So Tony Khan's not from Boston. That's all I'm saying.
Come on, man. I gotta take what few shots I can right now. You know that. I gotta take what shots I can get.
Oh man! Oh, just wait, cause I can't wait to
get
to that part.
Hold that in because you're only gonna you're gonna only be able to let that out of the bottle once.
Oh,
so you better make it count.
I'm gonna make it count.
You better make it count.
I had 3 jokes with that comment, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
But one of the biggest things that people are talking about right now, even trending right now on social media, one of the top 10 things trending is Ric Flair is all elite. No. I'm not joking. Ric Flair was at AEW Dynamite tonight as a special gift for Sting.
I was about to say, he technically, I don't think you want to call him all elite if he's only sticking around until Sting has his retirement match. It's more like he's driving like a typical 80-year-old man, and he's just kind of at 20 miles an hour, and he's just waving as he drives by AEW. And it's just going to take him a couple months to get by.
That's just okay, but nonetheless.
And then that's when Charlotte Flair asked this question:
how's everybody's father feeling today?
Wow, just disrespectful. Already, just disrespectful. But it was a moment to see, though, because who would have ever thought we would see Ric Flair in an AEW ring, and it happened. So
all I got to say is he better not be the mysterious partner for Darby Allin and Sting. If he is, I am done. I am done. Like, I am not even kidding.
So basically what you're telling me is that if Ric Flair does get in the ring, this is what you're going to do?
Fuck! 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 And
Hey, ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit.
telling you.
I
I'm
mean,
telling you.
we're all hoping that he doesn't, but just seeing him in the ring there just for a few minutes during that segment of AEW Dynamite was really good to see. And let's just see now, because remember, a lot of people take shots at Tony Khan saying he has a major announcement, things of that sort. All leading up to Dynamite tonight, he said that it was something big. You got to give him credit where he's due, because that was a big one there, having Ric Flair in an AEW ring.
Okay, so this is where you know a Yankee and an Astro will disagree. I swear this was probably about as exciting as a giant pile of crap. I'm talking about, like, this was more exciting than freaking watching paint dry. This was about as exciting as crossing my fingers and hoping the New York Mets would actually do something other than crap themselves every couple games. I'm talking more of LeBron James actually legitimately getting hurt and not just flopping just to take a few minutes rest. You know, I'm talking like all this shit all together. Like, all that could have been better than seeing Ric Flair, you know, pop up on AEW. But, you know, that's just my personal opinion, you know, after he almost died in his so-called last match.
This is all I heard when he said that for a good 30 seconds.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
That's all I heard. I heard a lot of...
Hey, ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit.
Yeah, that was me about 35 seconds ago. I didn't want to hear all that bullshit, but I get it. It's not something that you thought was going to happen, but it did. And probably, honestly, in their 4-year history, it will go down as one of the biggest moments in AEW history. Because somebody that's been a WCW and WWF Hall of Famer, nobody thought that he was going to show up there. Did you really think that? I didn't. Wow. You know what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Man, he is definitely here for the pay tonight. All right. That is Cyb3rYeti. So that's how he feels about that. Of course, we did have an AEW Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida did take on Ruby Soho. I'm going to be honest with you, I was not a fan of this match. It was too slow. Seems like they were stuck in second gear, just couldn't get out of it. And typical nonsense, the spray can comes into play, try to throw it to Shida, back and forth, and in the end, Shida did get the pin. I think Ruby Soho needs to go away for a couple of weeks, or at least a month. It's just not working at this point.
I'm sorry, who?
Ruby Soho.
Who?
Ruby Soho. This here for a damn pit. Damn. Just,
what the fuck?
Why are you so petty today, man? Jeez.
Damn. Like it's always said in my little bubble right there, man.
Wow.
I'm
What's up?
Get your man.
All right.
Somebody do something with that over there. Just some.
I'm so sick of these people. You know.
Oh yeah, I know you sick of me. I know you are. Trust me, I know you are. And just wait, because you're gonna hate me more later on. But that match was okay. Nothing really to shout home about. Right home to mama. But the main event, where it looks like something went down that wasn't originally supposed to be the ending of Dynamite. You did have the tag team match with Claudio Castagnoli and, of course, you know, the American Dragon himself going up against Okada and Orange Cassidy. Listen, now I'm going to put my pom-poms up for this guy right here, because Orange freaking Cassidy, if he's not in your top 10 wrestler for 2023, you need to get your head examined. Seriously.
I'm sorry, who?
Orange Cassidy.
Who?
Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Who?
Two-time AEW International Champion. Man, he just petty as hell. Just stop.
Stop it! Stop it! Don't shoot that little motherfucker no more!
Just
kidding.
Exactly. You better be kidding there, because he is literally
I have recently, within the last couple months, have gotten on the Orange Cassidy bandwagon. Because you know what? Because come on, even before we started this podcast and we were doing other shit and we crossed paths, you knew I didn't really have anything great to say about Orange Cassidy at first.
No, you did not.
And I made it very well known that I didn't. But just exactly like with my outlook on AEW at the beginning and the way it is now, the same thing happened with Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy, I couldn't stand his ass, but after everything that's happened over the last couple of months, and I've actually seen the aggressive side of him that I like, it's actually been really good. So I'm glad, I'm happy with where he's at right now. We just need to see more of that aggressive side more often. We can't go weeks and almost a month without seeing it, and then it pops out of the blue. He needs to be a little more consistent with it.
No, definitely does. In this match, really, if Orange Cassidy wasn't in it, it was going to kind of be a bummer, because a lot of points in the match where Cassidy was involved did quite a few things. Have you ever seen somebody counter the giant swing from Claudio?
In AEW, no.
In AEW, well, guess what? It happened tonight. Orange Cassidy countered it and turned it into one of the highest Stone Cold stunners you've ever seen in your life.
Man, it looked better than the ones Kevin Owens does.
Wow. You really doing Kevin Steen like that? That's what we're doing.
Get him! Oh, green.
Jesus. Damn. Shots are definitely being fired tonight.
All right. And I've been waiting.
I'm open. I'm always fucking open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay. We got Jamar Chase showing up on the show tonight. But it was an okay match. Of course, we know who got the victory. It was Claudio and his team. But
I'm sorry, who?
I think it was Claudio Castagnoli. Yes.
Who?
Formerly known as Cesaro.
I'm sorry, who?
1/4 of the Blackpool Combat Jobbers. Yes.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about.
There we go. So yes,
he don't mean shit to me.
None of them actually do, but it was just wasn't a good ending to the match. Kind of left a bad taste in the feeling. Dynamite was running overtime, but they cut it really quick because it didn't seem like that was supposed to be the ending of the night. You literally had about 12 wrestlers in the ring not knowing what the hell to do. That wasn't part of the plan to end the show tonight.
And again, that shows that Tony Khan is starting to fly by the seat of his pants, it seems like, over the last couple of weeks. And it really showed tonight with the way that ended.
Yeah, because it looked like, if anybody hasn't seen it yet, it looked like there was a legit injury to the American Dragon himself.
There better not be.
Looks like it was, because everybody was just at a standstill wondering, should we beat up each other or should we just cut? And eventually, I think about 10:03, 10:04 p.m. Eastern, it finally cut. So we'll probably have more news about that in the coming days, of course, with Collision just coming up in a few days. Hopefully, Danielson is okay. We wish him the best. But it did look kind of ugly there, those last few minutes of Dynamite. But that was pretty much it from Dynamite. Wasn't the greatest Dynamite, but definitely wasn't the worst. We did have an appearance from Rob Van Dam as he tagged up with Hook. That's right, RVD was definitely in the building. Hook is getting more and more experience. Those are one of my sleepers for 2024, where he gets a bigger belt by the end of 2024. I don't know if it's going to be international. I don't know if it's going to be a TNT title, but he's going to get something else. coming next year. He looks like he's ready to make that breakthrough in 2024. So
I could see it happening.
I could definitely see it happening as well. So yes, that is Dynamite. What happened there, and I think it's time for us to switch it over to the team out of Stanford.
Yes, sir. That is correct. This past Tuesday on Halloween Havoc, we officially had the debut of Mr. Pillman Jr., but now he is officially known as Lexus King. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch this match, but from what I understood, he did a very solid performance in the match, and he ultimately winded up winning. Of course, they're not going to let their debut guy lose a match, their first match in NXT. They're not going to lose. So that was beyond expected. That's like NXT 101. If they're going to put their stamp of approval on you, they're not going to have you lose their first match. So overall, what does this mean for Lexus King and NXT?
Well, honestly, this is literally where like a team wants that big superstar, wants to make that big trade, they trade everybody. They put all their chips in the middle of the table and they're going all in on him. You know, from the promos that we've seen leading up to what was Tuesday, their first night of Halloween Havoc, to his debut, they're really throwing everything at him. Quite deserving. I think a lot of it may be because WWE feels bad how they treated his father before he, you know, had his passing. So maybe that's a little bit of it as well. But they're giving him a shot. Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr. cannot say after this they are not giving him a legit shot.
Very true. And I think partially it might be it that, you know, the way they treated his dad, but also too, I feel like the work that he did in AEW, I feel like it was underappreciated. And I feel like talent scouts from the WWE actually kept eyes on him. Because come on, even though if they don't admit it or not, the competition is watching each other.
Of course.
So WWE was watching how Pillman Jr. was being used. They probably liked what they saw, which of course that would lead to this happening. I feel like they saw enough out of him to see that they could make him into a breakthrough star. The whole Varsity Blondes thing, I was not a fan of.
Did not work.
It did not work. It was forced on him.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Hollywood Blondes thing with Steve Austin back in WCW.
Perfect
you know?
example.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So like I'm saying, once Steve Austin broke away, he went to ECW. He started developing his own character. He started becoming independent, started becoming the character that ultimately became Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
You know, hitting its climax at King of the Ring after he beat Jake Roberts to become King of the Ring. And Austin 316 was born.
Oh, yeah, definitely was.
That is when he had his breakthrough, but he went around multiple promotions, ECW, WCW. And when he finally got to WWE, someone saw his potential and his stock rose. Do I want to put Lexus King in the same category? For now, yes. For now. Because we also know how WWE can be. They can be hot on somebody for a month. And then after that, it goes straight down the shitter.
We probably don't want to see that after how much they put in the machine behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the promos were very well done, very well scripted, perfect. My only thing with this, and I know there's probably some people that are going to hate me for this, but guess what? Go F a goat. I don't care. The entrance. Finally getting him there. The entrance looked very
subpar.
I was gonna say vanilla, Caucasus. It just didn't have no type of flavor to it. It was like potato salad with raisins in it.
Why was I about to say the same goddamn thing?
I was like, wait a minute. For a guy, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not big on Pillman. His dad, obviously, I was, but from the promos that were shown and everything, and to hype this up, I expected more from the entrance. Not necessarily more of the match. I knew that would pretty much be a squash match just to highlight, him in the ring.
Of course.
But that's what we got. You couldn't give him no smoke. Did somebody just roll him to the middle of that, entrance ramp and do that? It just seems like it just wasn't done right. It just wasn't done right. So we gotta see in the next coming weeks what's going to happen. Maybe he shows up again for night 2 of Halloween Havoc, which will be tomorrow as well. Next week.
Next week. Well, the big thing is it is being rumored after his debut. It is being rumored that his first rivalry is going to be Dominic Mysterio.
Okay, so this is clearly the machine being put behind him, and to make sure that he gets some form of heat or cheers from the crowd, because Dominic Mysterio, as much as we may hate him, he does command a lot.
Biggest heel right now. Yes. One of the biggest heels in the company.
So that lets me think, are they really going to have Lexis King be the face? Or is it going to be 2? Because I don't know. Maybe from the first match that I did watch there from Halloween Havoc Day 1, it seems like he'll be more of a heel.
I think they might play him as a tweener for right now.
The word.
And then ideal situation. Okay, he goes into a feud with Dominic Mysterio. Of course, obviously, I keep on wanting to call him Pillman, but Lexis King, he'll have more of the crowd behind him to win the title.
Yes.
He wins the title. They'll see how he does with it for a couple weeks. If he falls flat, who do you think they're going to call back for a rematch?
Dominic.
They're going to call Dominic back, and they're going to put the title back on him. You know why? Because out of the previous North American champions, Dominic has been the most successful out of the last few.
Yeah, we have to go back to like Wesley.
Wesley would be the only one.
So.
Which right now, from speaking of Wesley, the rumors are due to the fact he's kind of not been in the limelight since he lost the title. He's popped up here and there. There's rumors going around they might be getting him ready for the main roster.
I would not be surprised with that. I think it's about time. We've said this on the show countless
Royal Rumble.
That would be the perfect time, because you do need some people to fit. You're not going to get all the legends that you had last year. So somebody else would need to come in.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. But currently, with the way it looks, they're going to go ahead, and the machine is 100% behind Lexis King. They want to see what he's going to do. Could it potentially mean a short reign with the North American title just to see if he can handle it? Yes, that is definitely going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's more of a question of when. Yes, this is immediately after, his first match, but you know how it is. If the WWE thinks that this person could potentially be a long-term superstar for them where they can actually depend on them, they want to find out right away. Because if not, he's going to go right back out, and we'll probably see him pop up in AEW 90 days after he's gone.
That probably would happen, but he's in the perfect spot. I would thought putting him to the main roster first would have been crazy, but having him start in NXT,
yes,
he has the machine league backing him. So the probability of him sticking around will be great.
Yes,
let's see more like, let's talk about this in 90 days, since you brought up the 90-day non-compete clause. Let's see where Lexis King is in 90 days. Could he be the new king of NXT? I don't know. I think Carmelo Hayes and a few others might have something to say about that. But if done right, we could be looking at him holding that belt for quite some time, that North American championship. And wow, wouldn't he already have as many titles as his dad did, singles-wise?
Yeah,
wow.
He would.
That would be crazy. But, take some use again with his name, Lexis King, but
I still want to call him Pillman Jr., man. It is so damn hard. Well, exactly like Edge, we have to get used to calling him Adam Copeland.
Right. So it's going to take some
Yeah.
used to on both ends to get used to people. But speaking of this new king, let us know how you feel about the new king of NXT. Let us know on our social media, which of course is the Wrestling Revival Podcast on IG. And then on that X, that's right, Elon Musk has not changed the name yet. It is TWRP_official. Let us know there. How do you feel about Lexus King, aka Brian Pillman Jr.? We'll definitely talk about it on next week's episode.
Yes, sir. All right. So we're getting into a segment here that is actually near and dear to me because this guy's coming straight out of the Lone Star stage, straight out of Booker T's Reality of Wrestling camp. We are talking about Mr. Brian Keith. He's on to hunting some pretty big game right now. And if you've been keeping an eye on Twitter, on Elon Musk X, you will definitely know what we're talking about. And just in case you haven't seen it yet,
who's he going after?
Let's go ahead and take a look here real quick.
American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. I tell you, man, it's got to be a pleasure, no, an honor for you to mention my name. I've been watching you forever, man. The best in the world, and definitely the best of our generation. And for you to mention my name, say that you watch my matches, man. I watch every single match of yours, man. I tell you, man, I try not to do this often, but hell, who knows when I'll see you again, man. You mind if I get a autograph, maybe? Have you signed something for me?
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We officially have Mr. the Bounty Hunter himself, Brian Keith, shooting his shot at probably some of the biggest game he has ever faced on the wrestling scene currently.
Wow.
He is shooting for Bryan Danielson. He is wanting to go after him hard. And like I always would say, if you invoke my name, I will magically appear. So what did Bryan Danielson do with this man? He invoked his name. I understand it was in a compliment, saying that he watched him, that he respected his work, but you still invoked the name. So now we have Brian Keith officially on the hunt for the bounty known as Bryan Danielson. And like I was talking to Notorious here just before that we got on the air, and in between jabs, I flat out told him, I said, the reason why this is happening right now is because Mysterious Q, he showed up on AEW first before Brian Keith. He was slated to get ready to go and actually debut for, I forget which one it was. It was either AEW or ROH. Regardless, it's the same company. Going to debut for one of those promotions, but he actually got injured at an indie show weeks before he was supposed to do his debut. And now he's on a 6-month mend right now. So due to the fact of that mend going on, they naturally went to the next person who also showed up on AEW already. I think it was on Revolution where he showed up and he had a match as well. And he did really good from what he was posting on social media immediately after it aired. Apparently, a lot of people like what they saw in him. They really enjoyed his match. They enjoyed his work. So naturally, with that happening, it looks like Brian Keith may be getting ready to get called up to one of those big shows because he's already lost a couple of his belts already. The big one being the New Texas Pro Wrestling Champion. That one he has held for over 400 days And he just lost that belt not too long ago to someone else in the promotion who's an upcomer. So Brian Keith, I'm glad to see it, dude. First it was Roxy, now I'm seeing Brian Keith pop up. He's getting ready to take his shot, and he's doing it right to the person that he will immediately get a lot of respect from everybody if he gets the win over Bryan Danielson. So he's shooting his shot. I respect him for it. I wish him the best of luck. I can't wait to see it.
Nah, it's definitely looking good. The promo definitely has me intrigued to see what's happening next. Will it be that he mentions him on Dynamite television or just using social media for right now? That, of course, being Bryan Danielson. I like to see it. Hey, we got a few more big programs coming up for AEW. Maybe Brian Keith shows up at Full Gear. Maybe he's that new signing that's always had at AEW's Full Gear. If you remember, certain people showed up that were recently signed to AEW. So,
kind of reminds us of some others that popped up at the end of the pay-per-view. You know, they all kind of started coming out.
exactly.
One after the other, you know,
Yes.
yeah.
So that could be the same thing happening here. But yeah, I definitely want to see that. It'd be a breath of fresh air. Quite a few people, maybe in the Northeast or in the far West, may not know too much of him. But of course, when you go big game hunting like that, you're definitely going to get known very quickly going up against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. So looking forward to it, man.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good match once they finally announce it. And I can tell you this, take my money. Take my money right now, because those are two hard-hitting guys, technical wrestlers that will put a show on. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Definitely.
All right, let me all right. I already know what's about to come here. So, oh Jesus. We know what's about to happen. As y'all know, I'm a huge Astro fan. You know, that's where we all started this massive idea of the podcast. A Yankee and an Astro walk into a bar, and we came up with an idea, which is the Wrestling Revival podcast. Well, I stood behind my team. I put the confidence behind my team, saying, hey, they're going to do it again. But unfortunately, they fell short. And I will even say it, we took a shellacking at this last game. And you know what? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch it. I had some stuff come up that I had to deal with, and I didn't get that much sleep that night. So I didn't find out till early the next day. And of course, I pull up to work, and this asshole over here is already on the phone with me, talking all his mess. I mean, all his mess. I mean, it was painful. It is still painful. It's gonna be painful. But you know what? Unlike some others we know, I'm not going to turn around, tuck tail, and run and just completely hide from everybody after my team takes a shellacking and they get knocked out of the playoffs. I'm going to sit here, I dish it out, and I expect it dished out in return, especially if it doesn't happen the way I want it to happen. So you're about to see, I got a meeting with a certain somebody. Now, I don't know if I'm going to burst into flames or if I'm just going to fall over on the floor laughing my ass off. But we shall see how this goes. And one moment. He did bring this up. Technically, this whole video thing that he's talking about happened off air when we were in a meeting together, one-on-one here on StreamYard. So technically, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because That's just who I am. That's why DJ respects me. I respect him. But he still ain't shit. He can go fuck a goat as far as I'm concerned, because I know what he's about to do and he ain't shit for it. But a deal is a deal. We are going to keep our agreement. And with the addendum that his own wife added to it, this right here. Yes, Notorious, I am putting it on screen. This right here in a week is going to be making the trip out east. All I got to say is when I get this motherfucker back, it better not smell like the goddamn East River, because if it does, I am going to be 3 kinds of pissed. And I'm going to make you get this shit re-leathered, because you ain't shit for that. You feel me? Hey, I still got to get my shots in when I can, man. So, all right, let's go ahead and bring him back in here, because I know he's waiting. He's waiting and he's ready. Here we go.
All right. Brother Cyb3r. Brother Cyb3r. This is not DJ here. This is Brother Cyb3r here. I'm talking to you. We haven't formally met, but I am the Reverend Leon Lonnie Love. And I was told to come here tonight from Brother DJ. Brother DJ, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Go fuck yourself.
Now, that is not choice words to use with the Reverend, but it's okay. Once again, my name is Reverend Leon Lonnie Love.
I'm sorry, who?
Reverend Leon Lonnie Love.
Who?
Okay, see, DJ told me you was going to be smart with the mouth, but it's
Who?
all right. It's okay.
Who?
It's all right. I am the pastor. That's right, the pastor of the 649 Empire. Hold My Mule as I sing in Crip Walk Baptist Church.
I'm sorry, where?
Yes.
Sorry, where? Huh?
Yeah. The 649 Empire. Hold My Mule as I sing in Crip Walk Baptist Church Incorporated.
That doesn't sound like no damn church I've ever heard of. That sounds
It's on
like
the
one
south side of
of those
Brooklyn.
money pit churches, you know, the ones that people donate money to, and we know damn well it ain't going to help the poor or go help the church or help nobody. It's just going to help the Mr. Reverend himself.
No, don't even think of me like that, sir. That's not. See, Brother DJ,
you're worse than
did
TD
tell me.
Jakes.
No, oh no. See.
You're worse than Benny Hinn.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's get right to it.
I made you break character, motherfucker.
Let's get right into it right now. The reason why I'm here is because Brother DJ told me to come through here because he let me know something. Now, I know he's a big Yankees fan, but he told me that you are a big Astros fan. And you know, he only brings me around when it's time to do a eulogy, and I think it's time for you. Because your Houston Astros went down the pasture. As y'all say,
while your Yankees were resting in piss.
Not choice words to use to the Reverend now. All right, the second time I done told you. You got one more again. Just one more again. Now.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
I'm gonna push the button. Now, we are here for the eulogy of the Houston Astros. Now, Brother Cyb3r is a man that loves his Astros. He is down with Space City. But guess what? I guess those bats were in Space City because they weren't used in Game 7. Okay? The only McCormick I like is the seasoning in the grocery store, not on the Astros. That just doesn't work. Kyle Tucker, I guess it's just like the movie. Kyle Tucker must die because he wasn't doing anything either. Bregman, we'll leave it at that. And Jose Altuve.
Nothing else needs to be said.
Jose Altuve. Were you not wearing your wire? Did you not wear your wire? Did you forget how to catch the ball?
Now, why are you talking about Tuve like that?
Oh, Tuve, you obviously didn't go to Home Depot before Game 7. You had no garbage cans to mask on. I mean, the game.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
Oh, we're going to talk a lot about that tonight because not even 5 minutes into the game, Houston had a problem. Houston had a new daddy. That's number 53 on Texas, Mr. Garcia. There was no Minute Maid in the park. It was simply orange. Or was it simply blue? Either way, Dusty Baker was making an appearance faster than a sitcom. That just don't cut it. So Houston fans, I tell you out there, I got the Kleenex here for you. It's going to be all right. It's going to be a long winter. You already done lost your manager. He up and quit. So you're going to have to look deep down, not into the garbage can like y'all normally do, but deep down in your hearts and figure a way to not have Texas be your daddy. Because right now, they are your daddy. If this was a Bronx Tale, they sure did this to you. Now, Brother Cyber, I know Brother DJ let you know a few things, put your name in some videos, some tweets, and everything, but I'm here to tell you it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. You might get a picture, maybe two, in the off season. But just know, if it ain't blue, it ain't true. You can't beat the blue team. It's just not happening for you. So I want you to spend some time with your new daddy, Garcia, over the off season. Maybe learn some tricks, maybe two. Learn how to hit a ball, because he sure did it against you. And maybe, just maybe, come the end of March, you might be on the road to getting back to the World Series. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was a Mack truck that hit you. My bad. I'm sorry. Because you're not winning next year either. I'm so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. So I close my eyes and I pray for all Houston fans, especially Brother Cyber, because Brother Cyber lost that bet to Brother DJ. So TNT is not spelled Cyber anymore. It spells Notorious. So hopefully next season you'll know not to go against DJ Notorious. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good evening.
No. No. Hell no. No. I refuse. No.
Fuck you.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you there, Reverend Leon Lonnie Love. He came on here to the show. Very late night for him. You know, he had to miss, a couple of services at the church, but he came here just for you, Cyber.
I can tell you this much. I had him cracking up when I compared him to TD Jakes and freaking Benny Hinn.
Oh man,
I'm telling you.
Hey, he had me laughing when he said McCormick. I was like, damn, he took it there. He took it to the grocery store with it.
Damn.
So I would like to officially say, me, DJ Notorious, I accept your bet by losing, and I will gladly accept that TNT championship, and maybe next season you can get it back.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. All right. I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Just saying.
Stop your whining harder.
What you gonna do if I don't stop, huh? I will slap the hell out of you right now, Lee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll bitch slap you back to Africa.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Well, come on, let me see that. Come on, I want to see you do that.
Well, the one thing that I did when I was watching Game 7 and I knew what was happening, first of all, I was just going to message you my shipping address. That was number one. But then, as they kept scoring more with home runs, I just did this.
Shut your bitch ass up. Shut up, bitch! Oh my God!
Don't be mad. Don't be a sore loser. Your
Hey, if
team
I was
just
being
didn't
a
show
sore,
up.
hey, let me put it to you like this: me being a sore loser would have been me leaving halfway through the episode and not coming back.
It's a damn shame. Because you
But
knew this was coming. You knew this was coming.
now, yes, I did, and you even heard me say before the shit show even started. I said I'm not going to be like some and turn around and run off because I talk this shit. I expect the shit in return. That's the only way that this shit works.
And you definitely got it thrown back at you.
Hey, I take it on the chin just like everybody else. Hey,
it's okay, but you know what? I should have put that. You should also, you know what? Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna save that. We'll talk about that.
Oh hell, no, you already brought it up to the world. Come on, man.
Okay, so it's only right since you're a Houston Astro fan. They are the Astros. They lost.
Oh Jesus,
Space
here we
City
go.
is no more, and it's funny that they did that because aren't those jerseys called Space City? And didn't ESPN send Altuve off on a rocket into space?
I saw that shit. God damn it. But here's the thing that's crazy to me. After all that shit came out, like within the last 12 hours or so, it is now being said that Astros management is doing whatever they have to lock in Altuve to the end of his career.
So that means he has a lifetime supply of wires, right?
Hell, I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, if he's cheating, he didn't do it right this time.
Probably didn't. Probably just just forgot to wear it or something like that. But
or else exactly like this meme I saw here. It looks like Altuve was rewarded with screen time after hitting a home run. It shows him with an iPad over with his arms hanging on the dugout.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. Okay, we know he's short, but damn.
That man is short.
Looking like a 10-year-old freaking watch it. Well, no, not 10-year-old, looking more like a 6-year-old with their iPad watching the latest episode of Bluey.
Wow. I was gonna say Coco Melon, but okay.
No, I got a little one. She's obsessed with Bluey, and I even have people that at my other job that are obsessed with Bluey that are teenagers.
Jeez. Okay.
So it's weird.
So, yeah.
All right. So anyway, guys, that is the show for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. As always, make sure you check out our merch store, bonfire.com/store/the Wrestling Revival podcast. Well, Wrestling Revival, excuse me. You can get hashtag Notorious approved, living rip free in your head. And yes, I know this motherfucker wants to say 53 blue or whatever the hell he was saying just a little while ago, living in my head. No, motherfucker, I live in more people's heads than anybody. And then the official Wrestling Revival podcast shirt. Make sure you pick up some merchandise. Not only will it help the podcast out, but also too, this is a business. It also is going to go a little bit toward me, a little bit to DJ. It'll help us get him upgraded from his current situation over there. But hey, it's a better situation than other people we know.
Wrap it up.
Also, a big thank you to Ulti for their sponsorship as well. ultisubs.com. When you go there and purchase your new shaker and flavor, especially their new 64-ounce shaker, Jesus Christ, I want one of those. Make sure you use the discount code Revival Army for 10% off your order. Make sure you do that as well. That helps the podcast improve, and also that helps us as well. And like I was mentioning, we can also even get streaming gear and podcast gear for this man over here. So as always, big thank you to Ulti. Big thank you to y'all for supporting us. If when you go to the merch store to pick up your new stuff, we should actually be getting ready to talk about a second run of some new shirts coming up soon. So keep an eye out for that. That means the ones that are currently out now might wind up becoming collectors at that point, because new stuff is just going to be better than what this stuff is. So definitely pick it up while you can. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. I'm Cyb3rYeti, diehard Astro fan, as you can clearly tell. That is DJ Notorious over there. The asshole, the TD Jakes of the podcast world. The Benny Hinn of the podcast world. If you're those people of the podcast world, sir, why the hell do we still don't have that much money coming in to begin with? You need to go start knocking on the congregation's doors and being like, excuse me, can you donate to the Wrestling Revival Church, please?
Well, you know what? We actually did knock on a few Houston Astros fans' doors, but they got scared when they saw a 53 show up at the door.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. You have yourself a good rest of your week, and we will see you next week for episode 11. Man, you know what I just realized? Why didn't I pull up any clips of
10? Yes. Why didn't you put up anything saying DMD or TNT? Oh wait.
Goodbye, everyone.